Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 8 of Forget Your Warranty, the review series for Gran Turismo's tuner car selection, aftermarket, upgraded cars, some for competition, some for drifting, some just upgraded road cars, and some are just as an example of what the tuning company is capable of. Kind of like a working show car, if you will, of their products. Now this particular pick is one of the lesser popular aftermarket tuner cars. You don't see anywhere near as many people using this car as others, and it's not difficult to see why. On the surface of things, it's not exactly an overwhelmingly exciting car. It certainly does have fans, but most of the fans of this particular car tend to be in real life rather than on Gran Turismo, and the car is of course the Toyota Celica, a very popular car in real life, but on Gran Turismo, as I said, you just don't really see people using the newer shape Celica that much. The older ones, especially the rally versions, do get more love, but this version, not so much. The front wheel drive doesn't really add to the charm, whereas back in the day the all-wheel drive rally inspired versions were very useful vehicles. But the question is, can an aftermarket tuned version up the ante, make it a better car, maybe even make it a competitive car? Well, for a start, the price is kind of working against this car, because it's really expensive. 125 grand is a lot for a Celica. For a Celica rally car, perhaps not, but this is no rally car. It's still front-wheel drive, it's still a street car, it just has some Need for Speed style visual upgrades and a small power hike. 125 grand's worth of Celica, it is not. The question is though, for 125 grand, what does it give you? Well, you get a 1.9 litre engine, which you can supercharge up to 417 horsepower, which isn't bad. It also puts out 333 foot-pounds of torque, which is also not at all bad, perhaps slightly more impressive than the power in fact. It weighs in only 959 kilos, which is very good, it has to be said, and it puts out 435 horsepower per tonne, which is perfectly decent, especially for a vehicle which doesn't have a huge amount of power to work with. As far as the PP, it's way too high. 536 just isn't justifiable for this particular car. Now, it doesn't suffer too badly from the Red Bull Junior syndrome, but it is too high nonetheless. The question is, what do those specs translate to in terms of actual usable performance, acceleration, top speed, handling, etc.? Well, it's front-wheel drive, so off the line it can be quite easily beaten. For mid-range acceleration, it's okay. Not amazing, but it doesn't have a huge amount of power. The top speed and top-end performance are, again, okay. They're not really that amazing, but the road-going Celica isn't overly quick for top speed anyway, not of this generation anyway. As far as handling, it's pretty good. It's perhaps a little bit better than some of the production Celicas on the game, but not necessarily better than all of them. I personally prefer the ST205, but this particular model certainly isn't a bad handling car. The handling just isn't justified to the 125 grand price. This isn't 125 grand's worth of car. Now, if you like the car, if you love the way it looks, if you're just a Celica fan in general, or if you don't particularly care how good it is, you just want to collect it, well then by all means go ahead. It's not a bad car in any particular way. Some things about it are good. The handling is good, the drivability is good, the upgrades are interesting, and it is lightweight. In fact, the weight is one of the best things about it. It's just not particularly amazing at any one thing. It's okay at a number of things, but not necessarily good enough to be an actual all-round race winner. You could use this car under the right circumstances, at the right PP level, with the right driver and on the right track, and get a victory. But it's just not really that kind of car, because for that kind of price, you can get a number of cars which are far quicker. To put it into perspective, you could quite easily buy almost 3 Supras for the price of this one Celica. That's not really great value. Now, is it more interesting? The than some other tuner cars? Perhaps. It does have interesting visuals, and for those who are fans of visual upgrades but can't really get them, especially in terms of livery with the decals fitted to the car, in a similar way, funnily enough, to the Spoon Integra, this may appeal to you. It's got that visual pizzazz factor which a fan of the car may want. A lot of people do like to upgrade Celicas in real life. If you're not into that though, this car doesn't really offer a huge amount else. So overall, it's kind of an underwhelming review really for this car, but there's not really much given to work with. It's light and it looks interesting. That's about it. If you're looking purely for a race winner or for a really strong performance car, you'd just be better off spending your 125 grand on something else. If, however, you're just a collector or a Celica fan, then yes, it is one of the better ones available of the Celica model, in terms of the newer ones in particular. But overall, that's it for this particular review. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.